What's going on, my friends? Ryan with Stone Functional Nutrition here. What would you guess is the #1 digestive issue for most people? Well, you likely took from the title of this video, that answer is acid reflux and heartburn. But with regards to acid reflux and heartburn, why is it that teenagers can eat practically whatever they want and go relatively unpunished, while that same defiance by many people 40 years of age and up have them racing for a bottle of Tums? It's pretty well known and established that as we age, we tend to see decreases in many biomarkers. Hormones like testosterone and thyroid and vitamin D levels all drop off. You've heard that 1,000 times. But what might not be as well known is that stomach acid also decreases with age in our modern society as well. But what causes a decrease in stomach acid with age? I mean, age isn't a cause. Well, there are many possibilities. You have bugs like H. pylori. H. pylori is a bacteria that will burrow itself into the lining of your stomach. It corkscrews into the lining of your stomach, and in order to protect itself, emits a cloud of ammonia. Ammonia is a base, and that will neutralize your stomach acid. If you have a proliferation of H. pylori, then you'll see a significant decrease in your own stomach acid and ability to digest foods. Proton pump inhibitors stop your body's ability to even generate stomach acid at all. Chronic use of alkaline water, magnesium oxide in supplements, calcium carbonate in supplements, overuse of omega-6 fats like those found in vegetable oils, chronic nutrient deficiencies and toxicities. That's a pretty big one. You need, in order to even generate stomach acid, you need sufficient supply of certain nutrients. 3 of those nutrients are vitamin B6, B12, and folate. Now, if you don't have sufficient stomach acid in the first place, you're not going to even really be absorbing B6, B12, and folate, because those vitamins require sufficient stomach acid to be absorbed in the first place. So that can be a vicious cycle. Stress is a big one. Your adrenals produce epinephrine, and epinephrine helps increase the output of stomach acid. Now, if you're constantly in fight or flight, sympathetic tone, you're actually going to down-regulate digestion, and you're going to have adrenal insufficiency as well, and that will decrease your body's ability to generate stomach acid. Low stomach acid leads to poor digestion and absorption of nutrients like protein and minerals, and leaves an ideal environment for bugs to survive and thrive inside of you, so you could have a proliferation of pathogens. It could lead to ulcers and, if left untreated, esophageal cancer. Now, how can you tell if you have low stomach acid? Well, there is a test. It's called the Heartburn test. I don't know that many people really offer it, and I don't know that many people really do it. You're probably better off just leaning on symptoms anyway. It's way more convenient. So those symptoms could be excessive fullness after a meal, especially if you have excessive fullness after a protein meal. You could have bad breath or constipation. Maybe you taste a meal several hours after you've eaten it. Now, this acid sometimes comes in contact with the esophagus and causes pain, and many people, including doctors, will blame this pain on excess acid when it's really too little stomach acid that causes that pain. Just remember, with age, we tend to see a decrease in stomach acid while we see an increase in incidence of acid reflux. Now, this is how low stomach acid causes heartburn or pain. So strong stomach acids and pepsin in the stomach emulsify fats and proteins and readies them for use in the small intestine. When you have weak stomach acid, your digestion is weak, and thus food remains in your stomach a lot longer. Makes sense, right? Well, this food sitting in your stomach ferments, and there's gas from fermentation causes bloating and pain, and that gas creates back pressure against what's called the lower esophageal sphincter, or LES. So the LES is a smooth muscle. It's supposed to protect your esophagus from chyme going back into it. And when you have back pressure from the fermentation of gas pressing up against the LES, it gets weak, it gets tired, it opens up a little bit, and you have a splash of stomach acid and chyme in your esophagus. And that's actually where that pain is coming from. Caffeine, that can cause the LAS to relax, thus increasing your chances of acid reflux. Obesity, underchewed food, overeating can all impair the LAS's ability to close and thus cause acid reflux. In our society, we tend to treat acid reflux with antacids to decrease the stomach acid, when again, we should really be focused on increasing stomach acid and lowering the pH of that acid to improve digestion. If you're frequently taking things like Tums, you're impairing your body's ability to digest. Now, pharmaceutical companies patented antacids in around the mid-1900s, Prilosec, Nexium, and Tums. And as of 2022, I read it's a $5.3 billion industry. Now, this backing of these large companies could help explain their ubiquity and a lack of knowledge of things that I'm telling you here in this video. Chronic use of antacids causes malabsorption of minerals like silica and zinc and magnesium. And they produce a favorable environment for bacteria to reach the small intestines, where you can have conditions like SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Undigested proteins and carbs also can reach the small intestines and contribute to gas and bloating and fungal infections like candida. Now, when might you want to take an antacid? I personally don't take them really ever, but I imagine that when you have like a single episode of just severe heartburn where you really need that relief, I don't see too much harm in taking it then. But you're probably better off taking like Betaine HCl, which is a stomach acid. Decrease your use of water or drinking water during meals, especially alkalized water. You kind of want to cut that alkalized water out. Bitter foods also, like cabbage for instance. If you have, your bitter receptors are located near the back of your tongue, and they stimulate the vagus nerve to increase stomach acid. So that really helps. Now, and last and finally, I would say just a decrease in stress. And I know that for a lot of people, you hear that all the time. It's probably going to go one ear and out the other. It's like, yeah, Ryan, we're all stressed, but I think we're in a constant state of sympathetic tone and fight or flight, and we just have this, so we're working out, and we have these stressful jobs, and we have all this pressure to succeed and so forth, and that's great and fine, but also come down from that, try to recover outside of that sympathetic tone, that fight or flight tone, and allow yourself to rest and digest. And that will also help increase your stomach acids. So there you have it. Just because acid reflux is common with age does not necessarily mean that it's normal. Having a lifestyle of intelligent food consumption and stress mitigation will allow you to eat and celebrate life without feeling like you have to reach for a bottle of Tums every time. If you got value out of this video, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.